What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. For this week, I'm going to be your host, Nick Scarpino, alongside the best baby blues, aside from his brother in all of San Francisco, Mr. Tim Geddes.
That's him host.
Best
And the
baby blues aside
man,
from his brother.
and the man who I hear congratulations are in order for, Mr. Andy Cortez. Andy, you have the floor.
Thank you, everybody.
You did it.
I took an awesome photo of myself as Rahul Kohli last weekend. Got about 4,000 likes on Instagram, which is
That's
the
a lot
most
of
likes
likes.
I've ever gotten.
Shit,
That's a lot of
wow.
likes.
Most likes I've ever gotten on Instagram. I was in Times Square. I got
Just like
Fair.
Kumail. You see that?
really. What do you mean?
Kumail was like posting about himself in Times Square because of Eternals, and like it was a big deal. And I was like, wow, this is just like Andy.
We're on the same level, yeah.
Mhm.
We're on the same level.
Andy, I
And
swear to
like-
God, if we see Eternals tomorrow and you're in that movie and you just didn't tell us, I'll be so
Oh
happy.
my god!
I have a couple questions for you, Andy, but before we get to that,
What's
of
up?
course, this is the Kind of Funny podcast where each and every week, 3, sometimes 4 best friends gather on these mics to talk about the ongoing sagas of each other's lives. Of course, we love it when you support those things. We love it when you support our lives in the show, and you can do so in a lot of different ways. 1, subscribe to our channel. 2, you can go over to patreon.com/kindafunny and subscribe over there for a couple bucks. You get our shows ad-free, and you get access to the post show that we're going to do after this. And you also get to write in. We got some really fun questions I want to ask the boys a little bit later at the tail end of
great.
this show. Of course, shout out to our Patreon producers who went over to Patreon and backed us. Pranksky and the Laney Twinning. And Pranksky, you are both amazing. And of course, the show is brought to you by Trade Coffee, Uncommon Goods, and MeUndies, but we'll talk about those a little bit later. Andy, when I set you up for the congratulations, I was more referring to the fact that apparently there was a game that happened last night and somebody won and you got excited about it.
That's right. I was playing Guardians of the Galaxy last night on PC.
Huge.
Yeah, I almost beat it. So
But you haven't beat it yet.
no.
Okay.
But I still got excited for a lot of the things. Yes, Nick, the elephant in the room. My Atlanta Braves are the 2021 World Series champions.
Now I want you to put a pin in this.
Just never thought it.
Tim,
Yeah.
did you know the World Series was happening?
Accidentally, yes.
Okay. I had no idea. I woke up and everyone was super bummed about Virginia and super excited about the Atlanta Braves. And I was like, okay, these two things are probably two things I should have followed a little bit more closely. But I did not. Instead,
Nick,
I ate mozzarella sticks last night.
That could be because of your bad memory. Because 2 weeks ago, you were asking me about, hey, Andy, so the Dodgers and the Giants, right? I'm at a bar watching the Dodgers and the Giants.
Right.
Or maybe 3 weeks ago, actually.
It was a few
And then
weeks
I
ago.
told you, yeah, and then the winner from there plays the Braves in the next round.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, oh, so it could be the Giants against the Braves. That's interesting. And the Giants lost to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So like part of you knew that playoff baseball was happening.
Yeah, I was aware of that
Yeah.
happening, but there's always that moment where someone goes, "Oh my!" Like they start talking about the baseball games, and honestly, like I'm not actually going to take any of the blame for this. And I know that you're probably trying to
Wow.
push some
So
of the
brave
blame
of
onto
you.
my
He's
shoulders.
about to blame someone random.
I'm gonna blame one organization and one organization alone. Major League Baseball. Too many games happening in a series. I can't be expected to follow all that, Andy.
No,
you got
I
football,
understand.
16 games. That's good.
I understand.
I can follow that.
It's also one of those things, Nick, where as somebody who doesn't watch sports like you or like Tim, if it's not a San Francisco Giants World Series,
It's hard.
then
to
why
get caught
would
up
you
in
know about
Yeah.
it? Why would you keep up with it? You know.
But see, this is
and-
what is so interesting about this, Andy. And I want your insight on this because you've explained this to me before, but recently my friend James was explaining it to me from his perspective that I thought was very wild. So him, born and raised San Francisco, loves the Giants more than anything else in the world. We all know this. But his second favorite team, the Atlanta Braves, because they played on TNT.
TBS.
And I was like, TBS.
Superstation.
And I'm like, holy shit. I was like, this
We
is
got
the
the movies.
exact same thing Andy explained to me.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
it's kind
I'm
of
sorry.
wild, and I feel like it's unfair. Is it just Atlanta that gets this treatment?
Well, Nick, what are you confused about?
They play. Why is them playing on TBS an important aspect of people's fandom?
So in the same way that the Dallas Cowboys became America's team,
Mm-hmm.
I mean they're not really related at
I'm
all,
sorry,
but in the
what?
way that the Dallas Cowboys are called America's team, Kevin. The
Yeah.
Dallas
Really?
Cowboys have like the most fans across the country. They're the most valuable
Oh.
sports team. Whenever the Dallas Cowboys play against the LA Rams or something like that, there's always a shit ton of Cowboys fans in the stadium because in the 70s when the Dallas Cowboys are doing really well and then the 90s when they had all their Super Bowls, they just sort of generated fans across all over the country who were maybe just getting into football and said, "Oh, I'm going to follow the fan. I'm going to follow the team that's doing well."
It's hot.
And because of that, the Cowboys are very, very popular. When it comes to the Braves and the Cubs, the Braves were both nationally syndicated on TV in the 90s.
Ah.
The Braves were on TBS, the Superstation. They were on every game. Like, whether it was an away game or a home game, the Braves were on TV and the Cubs were on WGN. And they have a lot of fans around the country because of that. Because people like my dad who grew up where his dad, my grandfather, didn't really have a team. He kind of lived a bit in Cleveland and then he moved to Texas and stuff like that. And my dad never really had a baseball team, but the Braves were on TV every day, so he just started watching the Braves and he became a Braves fan. And it's the same. And there are a lot of people in my situation that just grew up because the Braves were on TV. And, I think a lot of people that grow up Astros fans or something maybe had it in their family. And with my dad, he just kind of like didn't have a team, so he just started watching the Braves. And that makes sense that James Burke is a Braves fan because the Braves were easily available to watch. They were always on TV. Yeah.
That seems like it has real ramifications that I don't know. Somebody should get involved at some point, or like, are the Braves
You
just
think it's
like
unfair? You think it's
raking? I mean,
unfair?
whoever landed that deal, like
Smart guy.
their manager, like shout out to that guy. Like that's insane.
The deal ended a long time ago. Like that hasn't been happening in like probably 2 decades now. I don't
there
remember
a new team now.
No, not really. Like a lot
Okay.
of it is just regional broadcasts and regional contracts, which is where the teams really rake in the dough, because Comcast will have like their Comcast West Sports or whatever, and then Fox Sports will have a certain region, and then like Cox Digital Cable will have their own sports thing or whatever. So it's all kind of regional contracts. It was Ted Turner who was a co-owner of the Braves. And Ted Turner owned Turner Broadcasting. And so he got, I don't exactly know how the deal went down. I don't know whether it's a chicken or egg thing, whether he owned the baseball team first and then went into broadcasting, whatever, but it's because of Ted Turner. But again,
Smart.
Tim, like this is something that ended a long time ago. And I don't remember the last time the Braves were even on were nationally syndicated. I think it must have ended like in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. It's been a long ass time.
So the last time they won was 95. Was that correct? Did I get that right?
1995, yeah. They played the Indians, who are now called the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
They finally changed their name to the Guardians. Hopefully the Braves name will change soon.
Oh, is that something that's in the works right now? Are people talking about that?
Well, there's been a lot of pressure for a long time.
For across the board for all those teams, right? Like Redskins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do worry that it won't happen for a long time because of how politics are kind of run in Georgia
Now,
and the owners and everything like that.
Here's what I'm going to say, Andy, and I'm going to pick your brain on this one because I always wondered, as everyone knows, you and me are the most creative people at KindaFunny.
Right.
By far. Do you think that, because here's the thing, there's another team in Atlanta called the Falcons, right? They play football, correct?
Right. Correct.
Dope logo. Why don't they just share it? I don't understand why they don't share resources. Why don't they just be like, we're a football team and we're a baseball club?
That's kind of neat. Now, I would prefer, Nick, that they go with another bird because they have the Atlanta Hawks in basketball.
Well, you got the Seahawks then, too. That's kind of confusing, though, right?
Well, no. I mean, the Seahawks are football.
Right.
Seattle Seahawks are football.
Okay, yeah,
cool. They have the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA.
Okay.
I would prefer another type of bird.
A dope bird, like a seagull. The Atlanta Seagulls.
The Atlanta Steven Seagulls.
I brought up to Blessy this morning. I was like, yeah, and they also had the Atlanta Thrashers, and then we looked it up, and the Thrashers were a hockey team that ended like in 1999 or something.
That's a
by the way, Tim,
ass name for a hockey team, though.
right? Isn't
A
it? Yeah.
Thrasher.
By
Are
the
you
way,
kidding me?
the TBS Braves thing ended in 2007. That's when that shit ended.
Ooh, that
So
was
a lot later than I
later.
thought.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that makes sense though, because yeah, James would have been. Well, James is not as old as you are.
Damn,
right?
can you
No, that's
imagine
James.
being a diehard fan and then losing that connection?
well, I mean, you end up having the same connection that any other sports.
Person that moves.
Yeah.
That's a good
Well,
call,
not even
Andy.
the moves. Like nobody else had this. No other team had that, unless you.
But I mean, for the most part, if you like a team, you usually live by it and get their channel, right?
No, I mean you get some local broadcasts, but you don't get all of their.
yeah,
games. You have
yeah,
to pay
definitely.
for like
Oh.
apps.
Yeah,
and
correct. Yeah,
subscriptions.
yeah.
So, like, when the Giants
You had to pay
go-
for the channel, right? You have to pay for like the ESPN or whatever channel it was going to be on through cable.
So like when the Spurs were when I wanted to watch every Spurs game, I lived in Texas. I lived in Austin and Round Rock,
We only see a half.
but I had to pay for the extra thing to get Fox Sports Southwest, which was a special channel. You wouldn't just go to Fox Sports and see the Spurs game.
It's a scam, you know what I mean?
It's a scam. I
Throwing
mean,
it
dude,
out
they
there.
are raking these. Whenever people talk about how unpopular baseball is, and by the way, last night's or this whole World Series, one reason why you may not have known about it, Nick, is because it was the second least viewed World Series and
Can
the
I guess
least
which
viewed
one
one
was
was
the least
last
viewed?
year's.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, wasn't there one where it was like the Diamondbacks were in it, and everyone's like, "Oh, we're not gonna watch."
Oh
that one.
no, but baseball was still very popular back then, regardless
Okay.
of who the teams were and what markets were at play. Like everybody always worries about like, oh, you always want the Dodgers in because they have a huge fan base. You
They
always
want
want to
the
see them.
Yankees too, right? Everyone
Yeah, you
wants
always want the
in.
Yankees in there because they're
Yeah.
going to bring a lot of views and stuff like that. And everybody thinks there's always a sort of
Illusion.
they always think it's like there's collusion and it's rigged because the NBA wants the Lakers, they want LeBron in there or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, last night's World Series was the second least viewed, and the most least viewed was the pandemic World Series, which happened last season. But that had the Dodgers, which are a much bigger franchise.
Which one was the one where the Weeknd made that crazy ass video midway through it?
That was the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Bowl? Yeah,
That was the
Cool.
Super Bowl. But
Cool,
yeah,
cool,
this is
cool.
their first Super Bowl, or this is their first World Series since 1995. And
That's exciting. That's a long time, man.
I mean, dude,
26
it's
years.
the Braves are like kind of cursed. And when I say cursed, a lot of people say, "Oh, get over it. You've won a bunch of other things." The Braves won 13 straight divisional titles. That is like fucking unheard of. To win 13 straight, like there's 4 teams in the National League East division, and we have been first place 13 years in a row. That is absolutely unheard of. But they only won one World Series, and that was always the bugaboo for the Braves. That like, man, you have all those divisional titles, and you only won one World Series, and it fucking sucked because I was a little too young to remember that World Series. I was always head to toe in Braves gear my whole life, but
Right.
like I don't really remember it. But I remember the losses to the Yankees in the World Series, and I remember the losses to teams in the playoffs leading into trying to get to the World Series. It fucking sucked, and it's just been like heartbreak after heartbreak. And then
Yeah.
Atlanta kind of became a cursed town when it comes to sports because the Falcons were beating the Patriots 3 years ago, 4 years ago in the World Series, 5 years
Mhm.
ago. They were beating them 28-3, and the Patriots came back and won. Like,
Jesus
how the
Christ.
fuck do you let that happen in a how do you let the other team how do you let Tom Brady do that when you're up 28-3? And I can't imagine being a Falcons fan being like 28-3, this shit's in the bag, dude. And then the other team comes back and breaks your hearts. And last year, trying to get to the World Series, the Braves blew a 3-1 lead against the Dodgers to get to the World Series. And like you're trying to win 4 best of 7, and the Braves are up 3-1, and it's like you just got to win one.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers win one, you're
Hold
like,
it up.
we'll be fine, just win one. And then it's tied 3-3, and you're like, fuck, this is awful. And the collapse begins, and it is devastating. Like our text threads were fucking devastating
This
to
is it,
read.
dude. This
To
is
this-
exactly why I don't follow sports
It's-
because I
it's-
get too invested.
I mean, Nick, I would love to be able to like. I would always tell like friends and ex-girlfriends at the time, like, hey, if I could fucking snap my fingers and say you don't care about this shit anymore, I would because it is so emotionally taxing. And for this season to be like, I thought the Braves were done. They did really well last year. Obviously, they choked against the Dodgers, and then for this year to be in the same spot in the same championship game to get to the World Series against the Dodgers, to be up 3-1 and be like, don't blow this, don't blow another 3-1 lead. This is impossible, improbable. And they lose one and it's 3-2 and you go, fuck, they're doing it again. I can't believe this.
Oh,
And they won, you're
no.
like, oh, thank God. And then to be up 3-1 against the Astros in the World Series and go, all right, don't blow a 3-1 lead. And the Astros win one. And granted, you just got to win one to win the World Series. And in the first inning of the game that would have won it, the Braves hit a grand slam and they're up 4-0. And it's like, this is it, dude.
Oh,
This is
something
it.
fun, Andy.
It's so hard to score a run in the major leagues. Like, especially in the World Series. You hit a grand slam, you're up 4-0 in the first inning. That's it. And then the Astros scored 9. And you lose
Jesus.
9-5. You lose 9-5 and you're like, this fucking sucks. Like, they're about to choke this away again. But then last night, to again, like, just reading through our text threads again, it's me, my cousin, my dad, and my brother just like all chatting because we've all been diehards, and it was just so fucking exciting to like hit the 3-run homer, be up 3-0, be like, all right, let's keep this pressure on. 2-run homer, 5-0, like, holy shit, this is getting close, and the game's getting later and later. To keep on piling on those runs and keeping the pressure on. And it was fucking like the final out is hit and I fucking yell and then I just broke down into tears. Like, I am crying right in this fucking chair, just being like, I can't believe this, dude. And I'm tearing up right now. Like, it was fucking crazy, dude. I can't believe it. Like, it was so improbable. And like, I've had a lot of like sports heartbreaks, and I guess I'm just really excited for my brother and my dad mostly, because they are the ones that, even though I loosely kind of kept following the Braves,
They've been the diehards for 25 years.
yeah, and like, you know, I wouldn't say that I loosely follow the Braves. It's just that like their diehard commitment stayed there even throughout the losing years. And for me, it was more of like, I'll check out a game here and there. I'll look at the standings. But I'm a Braves fan and a Spurs fan, right? Like, that's kind of like where my allegiances went to, even though we've had our heartbreaks over there as well. I'm still talking to my parents and my brother about the Braves and how they're doing every season. But it was really rough there for a couple years where they were absolutely shitty. And then the rebuild begins and you're getting really, really excited. And goddamn, I just felt so happy for my dad, who's had like such a tough year, to experience this and be like, it's been since 1995. It's been 26 years, or what is that? 26 years? 1995.
Yeah, 26 years. Yeah.
Jesus, that's
Absolutely,
crazy.
like absolutely crazy. Like it's so improbable, and especially for this year where their best player, the jersey that I'm wearing, Ronald Acuna Jr., he got hurt like mid-season, kind of like before the mid-season mark, before the All-Star game. He tore his ACL, and I was like, well, that's it. Just fucking call it. Let's, you know, this season's a wash. Let's move on to next year. Hopefully next year we'll get him next year.
Right.
He'll be back healthy. And then the Braves just committed and we're like, we're gonna re-sign all these players. We're gonna sign all these free agents before the trade deadline, and all of those key signings were so freaking important to having the result of winning the World Series. It's crazy, man. I can't fucking believe it.
It's one of those things that, like, for me, I get the best of both worlds. I can dip in when I want. I don't have a horse in the race. So anytime any of my friends' teams win, I get to share in that excitement. I go to Twitter and I see people screaming up and down. Like, I just scrolling through today and I saw people filming themselves during the last out, and I'm like tearing up. I'm like, and I don't even give a shit. I don't know who got the out and who was running, but I'm
Yeah.
just excited that other people are happy about something that has to do with something I don't understand. And then somebody else was like, goodbye to the cheating Astros, and I was like, I don't even know what they did. Did they deflate one of the baseballs? What happened?
So, well, the
Fuck 'em now.
Astros got off pretty easy because they won the World Series.
Were they the ones
They-
doing the sign things where they were like figured out what the signs were happening?
They beat the Dodgers in the World
Just let 'em
Series.
tell you.
And the Dodgers were so
like to
mad,
guess,
but
Kevin.
it's similar to that, Nick.
Okay.
they would bang on trash cans
That's what it
to
was.
communicate to the batters what pitch was coming next.
Okay.
They had like cameras set up and stuff, and they knew what the next pitch was going to be, which is like,
And they got caught.
and they got caught, and it was like they did a big investigation, and a lot of the players were part
Was
of
that
it,
this
but
year?
so were like, no, that was
That was a while back, right?
it was essentially like the World Series that they won. They were cheating during that World Series, and they got so fucking lucky that they didn't really have to deal with a whole lot of the fallout because it was COVID and there were no fans. So they got to go
I
to
guess they skated
empty
by,
stadiums to play in front of nobody and not deal with it. Now, granted, the media and a lot of people like, hated them and
Oh, yeah, they
talk
probably
shit, and
barbecued.
deservedly so. Like, I think a lot of teams try to cheat, but especially when you're that good and you can still make it back to the World Series and you're pulling bullshit like that. And as much as a lot of people hate the Dodgers are like, that should be our World Series. Like, you fucking won that and you were cheating. That is complete bullshit.
Do you think
So
that it
a lot
didn't
of people
occur to
hate the
them-
Astros because of that.
Do you think it didn't occur to them when they were like banging on trash cans in an empty stadium that someone's like, who the fuck keeps banging on those trash cans?
No, they weren't cheating during that. By that point, they were caught already.
Okay.
But they were cheating during the season before COVID hit, and they did crazy investigations, and you would hear like ding, 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 like people hitting
Periphery.
on, and so
Yeah.
all the memes that came afterwards are great. But the thing about the Astros is like they didn't seem, a lot of the players kind of were very fuck you. You all hate us. We're gonna be the villains. It's like, no, man. It's not like you talked a lot of shit and got into a fist fight.
Right.
Like, you were cheating. That's
You're
why
not a
everybody hates you all.
provocateur. You actually were just cheating and being
Yeah, you kind of
Yeah.
gotta like take a
Take
a
this.
seat on this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta take an L on this one.
Yeah, but and so that's why a lot of people were rooting for the Braves that were like, fuck the Astros, and a lot of the people. It wasn't just ex-Dodger, or it wasn't just Dodgers fans that were rooting for the Braves. It was a lot of people around Major League Baseball that hate the Astros for the cheating scandal. But yeah, last night was just like an absolute fucking dream, and I can't believe it. I still can't believe it happened.
Was it
Does it-
game 6 or 7?
Game 6.
Okay, cool.
And
See,
there
that's
was
always, that's always
there's a-
nice.
I was gonna say there's a tweet that's been going viral where some dude on March 31st of this year was like, Braves beat the Astros in 6 for the World Series of 2021. And that tweet's been going viral because he fucking nailed it. He called it in March, which is like, how do you even predict who's going to be in the World Series,
Yeah.
much less how much they're going to beat them by?
See, that sounds like some Tim
which is
Geddes
wild.
shit there, where you look through the
in
tweets
case.
and every day he tweeted a different team in a different series at a different time.
It's a
And
good
then just
call.
del- and
That
then
would
he
be-
just deleted the rest of them.
That would be
exactly.
so smart. Like once the Giants out, he deletes all the Giants tweets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
as soon as
Nick,
Giants
that's
players
great.
start like getting hurt, and you're like, oh, never
Get
mind,
him
they're
off-
not
get him
going
off
to
the
do
board.
it.
Now, Tim, I have a quiz for you right now, top of my head.
Let's go.
Okay, if you know how they
Wait,
communicate.
real quick.
Signs.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Kevin from KindaFunny.
Tim, you sent me an image. Do we want to show that before we leave, or?
Yeah, sure.
You want to pull it up now? What are we looking at here? What is this?
The picture, Andy, if you want to explain it.
Yeah, so the last baseball game I attended live was 10 years ago in 2011,
Mhm.
where I was in Houston watching my Braves beat the Astros with my family, and my brother and I were caught on TV on the ESPN
That's
broadcast.
awesome.
Yeah,
That
it
is-
was.
that is Andy
Those are good
Cortez on the
seats,
left.
man.
It was one of
Really
those
good seats.
games where I think it rained or a lot of Astros fans started leaving, so they let people just kind of filter down. So we didn't buy those seats, but we
Oh, I
ended
was
up
like,
getting
damn.
That's good
right near.
stuff.
We ended up getting right near the dugout, and it was awesome. So that was the last like baseball game I attended live in person. And yeah, that was it.
That's really cool. Is that wait? That's you on the left?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
You look so young.
You
what
look
year
so
did you say?
young.
No facial hair. I mean, I was like 30 pounds
10 years ago.
God damn, man, we've aged.
I got a
Jesus.
couple people messaging me like, I didn't figure you for a baseball glove at the baseball game type of guy. And I think that's a very specific guy.
Mm-hmm.
For me, mostly it's
Mhm.
self-defense, Nick. Like,
Yeah.
I am constantly paranoid of the line drive that's ripped towards right field,
Right.
and it's like, how am I going to defend myself? Or the small child next to me, maybe.
Oh, you mean you're
But
gonna take the child, put it in front of your face?
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. That's a
but
good
it's
play.
also in case for autographs because like
You're
my
down there.
brother, my brother Tim is the adventures we have gone on when we go to Houston with my family,
Hmm.
and it's my brother somehow knows the scoop of the hotel and the buses and where people are showing up, and we're always in the right place at the right time when the big megastar baseball players are walking by. It's like, how do you know how are you getting this information? My brother's like always on the spot with this sort of shit. So you always have something to hold on to get signed in case you do run into people. But yeah, those are like so much of my childhood was we would go to Houston as like a family vacation in the summer to watch the Braves play the Astros. And my brother and I were always sneaking into some bullshit, like getting autographs and
Love it.
like speaking Spanish to the players so that they would be like, "Oh, those people speak Spanish. Let me hook them up." You know, like
Yeah.
it was so weird.
Any way
so
you
weird.
can. And that's
Yeah.
that's part of the fun of it, though, right? That's part of the fun of being the fan, which is always why it's so funny. I'm always so shocked that Tim's not into this stuff
Well,
because it
dude,
seems like there's so many things for you to glom onto.
yeah, it's funny you say that. Actually, unrelated to this, a couple nights ago, there was some other sports thing. I think we were just watching some show, and they were talking about sports and like fandoms, and like I am such a fan of things.
Yeah.
Like I love fandoms. I love being a part of communities that like enjoy things and like that there are there are highs and lows and moments and all that stuff. And me and G were talking about it, how it's so funny that she got me into the reality show stuff, and I am just all in now. It's not even just because of her. It's like I'm in, and I got her into MCU superhero shit, and she's all fucking in. It's not just me. And it's like we were both talking like if we just gave sports a shot, it'd be game over, man.
Oh, you
like
guys
we
would
would
be
never leave these
insufferable.
chairs, and we
You'd
would
be
be
insufferable.
insufferable.
I mean,
the thing-
we saw the passion from the FCF come out. When
It's
you're
so
rooting
fun.
for when you're rooting for a thing and the things go well, it is not toxic. It is what's the word? It is nirvana. It is
Intoxicating.
Yeah.
it's intoxicating. Thank you, Kevin. It's just
No
like
worries.
it's a
It can be
drug
toxic too, but yeah, for the most part, it's intoxicating.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, and speaking of toxic, yeah, I just wanted to mention again the let's hope that the Braves do change their name. I
They
as a
will.
kid would always tomahawk chop, and I thought that was fine. And it's just like not cool. Like whenever the crowd goes dim, the lights would go dim when a pitching change would happen, and visually it's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's like the idea of the tomahawk chop is just like it's such an outdated thing. Why are we
Yeah,
still
yeah,
doing that? But
Gotta make it
visually
the
it looks.
Seagulls. It'll look cool
visually
if
it
everyone's
looks-
doing this.
I mean, Tim,
do
visually it
this,
looks
Tim.
cool as
Yeah, you're
fuck
not
when
selling it,
people
Tim. This isn't
when-
working. This isn't working.
when it's nighttime and the lights are off and you just see a bunch of cell phones doing that, like
Fucking
lights doing that. It
badass.
looks
So
cool as fuck visually, but
Yeah.
it's
But
such
it's
a dated
insensitive.
thing.
It's fucked up. It's
Totally,
insensitive.
yeah. I mean, I knew the Braves would always be the last to kind of get it because, first off, obviously Redskins is like more of a
In
slur.
the hierarchy of
Yeah.
of fucked upness, I think Redskins is probably at the top for sure.
Redskins definitely a slur in addition to all the appropriation of everything. Indians is straight up just like I'll never
Super
forget
outdated term.
I'll never forget ESPN's Bomani Jones wearing a T-shirt that said the Cleveland Caucasians, and it was just a white guy as the logo to kind of show like why are Indians
What are we doing?
a fucking mascot? Yeah.
Yeah.
I always knew Braves would be kind of be the last on the chopping block,
Mhm.
but it seems like the time is getting closer and closer, and hopefully with them winning the World Series, maybe that brings
that's the
that
nice-
more to a national sort of conversation.
Well, it would be nice
because
if
I
that,
would love
that kind
them
of
to change
puts
the
the
name.
pin in that era and they can move forward with it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm starting the hashtag right now. Tim,
Mhm.
you think Atlanta? What do you think? Of course, you think Atlantis,
Donald Glover.
the city
Yeah, Atlantis. I
under
nailed
the
it.
sea.
Nailed
The
it.
Jason
Let's all
Momoans.
push for the Mer people.
The merman.
The Atlanta Mer
The
people.
Mer
I
people.
love it, dude. That's great.
The Mers for short.
It always blows my mind that this stuff takes as long as it does because the high school I went to, when I went there, they were the little Cardinals. But before, like many years before, they were the little Indians, I think. And they fucking got rid of that shit in like the 80s or 70s. And
Yeah.
it's like, I understand with the MLB, there's like a lot more, there's money and stuff that high school
it's a
doesn't
much
have.
bigger machine, unfortunately.
But it's just
Well-
like, damn, how are we? It's 2021 at this point. Like, there's been a lot of this conversation for a long time. It's kind of
I-
shocking to me. We're still there on when it comes to like the major league stuff.
Yeah, I guess it also like when I think of um, the people running San Francisco, I think generally they have a better head on their shoulders in terms of like not wanting to offend groups of people and kind of the Lowell Indians. Let's get rid of that. Obviously, a bad decision. When I think of the larger teams that took so long, like again, the Redskins barely got rid of it. It's a Washington football team now, and the fact that it took that long, a lot of it is white owners who necessarily don't think they're being offensive and
Right, they
will
want to
make
push back on that
excuses
culture, and you're like,
and kind of like and it's the same thing of like I look at it as the same of when people don't want to remove monuments for racist people in past because that's history, that's our legacy and stuff, and like I think a lot of these owners think of it the same way
Totally,
of like this is the Redskins. How are you gonna change a football team? The Redskins, they've been around for fucking decades or whatever. Um, the Indians had that awful logo of the I forget the name of the Chief Wahoo.
Yeah.
Chief Wahoo
They
was
call
the
it the
name.
Wahoo Nation or something like that.
Yeah, terrible fucking logo and stuff like that. I think the Braves has been the least offensive of all of them, but still, like, you don't want people doing a tomahawk chop and going, oh, you don't want to hear you don't want to hear that. It's just not, it's not cool. And so I
Doesn't
definitely
make you
hope they
feel
change it.
good. You can't take pride in that as a fan, and I think that's the corner. When once you turn that corner, Tim, you go right, left into the Starbucks. What's the Starbucks logo, Tim? The Mer
Mer people.
people.
Here we are.
Wow,
people.
Nick, you made
Yeah,
that work.
good.
I thought you
God,
were
that
stroking
was
out
really
there
good.
for a second.
Kevin, it was going off the fucking right. I just yanked the wheel. I yanked it right back over.
This baseball talk reminds me. Yesterday, me and my brother were driving to Starbucks, and like on the drive, there's this like park area that has like a baseball field that a lot of the little kids like play at, and they do a lot of the like San Francisco Little League stuff there. And as we're driving, my brother starts freaking out, losing his. She's like, "Yo, dude, holy shit! It's what's her name?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "Yo, it's like a celebrity." And I look over, and it's Lucille, the mascot of the SF Giants.
Oh, the Giants.
Oh
That's so
shit,
funny.
for reals?
And my brother was like losing his mind over this shit. And it was just Lucille, the fucking like dope ass seal homie, just chilling at the park with the little league kids. It was like the junior Giants is what they call them. And Lucille just came to like sign autographs and shit. I'm like, this is hella cool, man.
Wait,
That's
when
pretty
Tim,
cool.
when Cool Greg said, did Cool Greg said it's like a celebrity, or were you saying that he was reacting as if it was a
No,
celebrity?
Cool Greg legitimately said he's a celebrity.
He's
a
a
celebrity
Oh.
is here.
Yeah.
That's
Now, are we
amazing.
talking like a real? This is not a real seal. It's someone in a mascot costume, right?
I don't know how to answer that question, Nick.
What the seal is I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. It's a mascot.
I did because
costume.
part of me was like, did they just like Kevin? Don't
There you
fucking
go.
Kevin.
Nick,
If I
it's
tasked
just-
you with bringing a real seal over to the park,
No,
you'd figure
but like
it out.
I thought
put
you
that thing
knew
in a fucking-
Lou. He's got your dad's name too.
Oh, I mean, I don't. I forget. I forgot that was.
You've
the
been
mascot
to
for the
baseball
Giants.
games. Whenever Lou comes
In
out,
my-
everyone's like, Lucille!
Hold on. It's not so much about Nick knowing or not knowing or forgetting about the Giants mascot. I don't hold that against him. What I do kind of question a little bit is I did say he was signing autographs.
Yeah.
at the kid, so if you're right or not, it could have just been a seal. Hey, seals can learn some shit. They're very
Seals can
close to
high
mer
five.
people.
Seals can high five. You put ink on their paw. or
Fuck,
whatever the
they
fucking
are.
flipper it is.
They're mer dogs, right?
They are
they're mer
they're the
dogs.
mermaids of the dog species. Yeah.
See, I
That's so
never,
funny.
I don't know Lucille, right? Like I'm not super familiar with that as a mascot. And for a while there, Nick, I also was like, is this a person in a suit or is this an actual animal? Until Tim said they were signing autographs.
Yeah.
And I was
So
like,
you listened when he
No,
talked.
no,
is what you're
I
saying.
got that,
Right
but
there,
in
Nick,
my
that's for you.
brain,
That's for you.
in my brain. Hold on, let me watch this.
it's
Give me a
just,
thumbs up. It's
There you
just Lou
go.
giving you a thumbs up.
That's what I assumed would happen, but then there's a
Uh-huh.
part of my brain that thought, what if they brought a live seal out, put ink on its little flipper, and it was high fiving the kids on their faces or on their gloves? And I don't know why, but now Tim,
Yeah.
a lot of the times I'll try to lay this shit at your doorstep, my stupidity at your doorstep. I'll take 99% of the responsibility for this
Why not take
because
all of
this
it?
was all in my brain. 1% for that's just because
Luck, life.
creativity. You know what I mean? This is how it goes. Fascinating. I'm fascinated by this whole process.
Sportsman.
I know.
Sports, baby.
Well, Andy, congratulations. I know you've been waiting a long time for your team to win. Yeah, go Spurs, I guess, right? Isn't that the next thing you want to try to get to win?
No, Cowboys. The Cowboys are 6-1 right now, and they're looking really goddamn good and threatening. And
I
hope
need to
that they have
see
a
the
season.
Spurs win for you though at some point. Because
Well,
I
I
feel
mean,
like
look-
since I've known you, it keeps getting close. They get
the
their
Cowboys
wins
are
and
an easy
stuff.
bet.
No, but
though.
here's the thing, Tim. I've experienced 5 Spurs championships in my lifetime, and it's been
I haven't.
amazing. I have not experienced the Cowboys do anything meaningful since, just like the Braves, since the early
90s,
90s or
yeah.
since the mid 90s, where like they were dominant in the 90s, and ever since then, it's been a lot of false hope, and I would love for the Cowboys to do something before the Spurs do, because the Spurs won in 2014, and that was my fucking lifetime game. But to experience that after losing to the Heat the prior year, we always talk about it. We always talk about it here. Spurs lose to the Heat on a heartbreaker in 2013. It's like, how are they going to come back? And the man who never, ever, ever talks shit, Tim Duncan, who was notoriously like the least. They've talked to Kevin Garnett about Tim Duncan and been like, I love playing against Timmy because he doesn't talk. He talks shit in like phrases. Like everybody else is barking left and right, and Timmy will just hit you with a move. And he'll go, got you. And that's all. That's all he says for like shit talk.
I'd hate it. I would hate that. That would get under my skin so badly.
And he just hit me with a move and dominated, and he'd be like, got you there. And it's just like the most simple shit talk. But when the Spurs lost him in 2013, dude, and it's just like my heart was broken because Tim, the Spurs were up 3-2, and they started wheeling out the trophies.
Oh no.
Like the Spurs were up by 6 points with about 30 seconds left, I think. And they were wheeling out the red carpet and the trophies, expecting to give it to the Spurs. And then the Spurs miss a couple free throws. We all know the Ray Allen shot, and that fucking tied the series 3-3, and then the Spurs lost game 7, heartbreaking. And for Tim Duncan after that to be like, we'll be back next year, we'll get him. And he fucking backed it up, and they met LeBron again in the finals.
Yeah.
And Tim, it was the most dominating finals in NBA's history in terms of points differential. Like every game the Spurs won, they won in 5, 4-1, and every game they won, it was by like 20 something points. It was disgusting, the clinic that they put on. And they even like interviewed Dwayne Wade, and he was like, nothing we could have done that season would have beat the Spurs. Like there was nothing we could have done. We were just outclassed at every. I was like, yes, dude. And that was my moment, Tim. That was my moment.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Now it's the Cowboys.
This is why I'm so surprised that Tim mentions reality television. Obviously, reality television took a page out of sports' playbook, right? Which is to have programming constantly year round. That's why I think if you and Gia get into like one sport, they overlap. So you just keep going, and there's never that dry spell. You can always find if you get really, really hungry for it, you go over to like lacrosse, or you go to one of those like the minor sports. There's always something happening over there.
Yeah.
But Tim, before we segue into your topic, because I know you wanted to talk about a couple things, I have a quiz for you that I want.
Yes.
A one question quiz. Now, you're familiar with what Andy was talking about earlier with signs, right? Where the pitcher will give a sign, or the catcher will give a sign to the pitcher to tell him which one. I want to know if you know what this is. What is this, Andy? I was gonna quiz him.
Sorry.
Not the fucking slightest clue. Hold on. Let's see. In baseball, there's balls, there's strikes, there's fouls, which
Yeah, he
also is a
doesn't know.
ball.
He doesn't
So
know that.
I'm gonna go fastball.
There it is, ladies and
Yeah?
gentlemen.
Nathan.
It is a fastball. It doesn't help that Andy literally just said that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did
And with
not hear that.
We're going to take a break to tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by MeUndies. Are you ready for mashed potato season, aka turkey with gravy and cranberry sauce season, aka every kind of pie and more season? Well, MeUndies is here with the softest and stretchiest undies in the game, so you can be ready for seconds and thirds, baby. I love MeUndies. I have for a very long time. Even right now, of course, I'm wearing my lounge pants, the undies themselves, and the socks. I love having that soft micromodal fabric all over my body. They have undies and loungewear made out of soft, breathable, stretchy fabrics that are perfect for everything from pre-dinner activities to post-dinner naps. MeUndies also has a great deal for you guys. For any first-time purchasers, you can get 15% off and free shipping. MeUndies also has a promise. If you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, you can return your order for a full refund within 45 days. To get 15% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/morning. That's MeUndies.com/morning. And next up, shout out to Trade. Are you the kind of person who falls asleep already thinking about the next morning's coffee? Well, Trade's goal is to make every cup of coffee your best ever. The journey to your perfect cup starts with taking their coffee quiz. You use a French press, automatic drip, you're a cold brew person? No problem. Trade will match you to coffees you'll love from 400 plus craft coffees and will send you a freshly roasted bag as often as you'd like. Trade guarantees you'll love your first match. On the off chance that you don't, though, they'll replace it with a different bag for free. Me and Cool Gray had a lot of fun going through the quiz, trying to find him his perfect coffee, and he has been having a great time with Trade. For you guys out there right now, Trade is offering your first bag free and $5 off your bundle at checkout. To get yours, just go to drinktrade.com/kindafunny and use promo code kindafunny. Take the quiz to start your journey to the perfect cup. That's drinktrade.com/kindafunny, promo code kindafunny for your first bag free and $5 off of your bundle. That's drinktrade.com/kindafunny. And next up, shout out to Uncommon Goods. If you're on a mission to be the best gift giver ever this season, it's never too early to start looking, no matter who you're shopping for. Uncommon Goods is the place to find remarkable and truly original gifts for anyone. Me and Gia actually recently just did a puzzle that we got from them. That was a lot of fun just for some like bonding date night time. And there's actually a bunch of really cool date night options there. There was one thing that I was looking at that is a date night painting where you get this, you get the package and you actually get a 90-minute session with an instructor. You guys get to paint together. It's a whole thing. It sounds like a blast. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. And with every purchase you make, Uncommon Goods gives $1 back to a nonprofit partner of your choice. That's awesome. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/kindafunny. That's uncommongoods.com/kindafunny for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. uncommongoods.com/kindafunny.
All right, we're back from that sponsor talk. Tim?
I was going to go that at curveball.
Nick, do you know that because of Major League?
Yeah, 100%. And that's I mean, here's the thing. You talk about like the Cleveland Indians needing to change their name. Obviously, I wanted me and Snowbike Mike to watch Major League for our last watch-a-thon or a watch-along. Not a great movie to watch when you're talking over it because you miss the nuance of Wesley Snipes' performance. But it's tough for me to go back and watch that movie because it's near and dear to my heart. But there is that shot with the three white people in the headdresses who are like going crazy because they're part of the fan club, and it's like I just wish. Man, I wish they'd have changed that right before they made this movie because it is a very endearing sports movie to me. But
how good was God? I can't even think of his name. Oh my God, he kind of went off the deep end. He's very like QAnon.
From Major League?
From Major League 2.
Oh, was it the guy that replaced Wesley Snipes?
No, the guy in the crowd. He's one of the fans.
I gotta look this up now.
His brother is an actor as well, and his brother acted in the movie The Rookie, where he was a pitcher. His brother much more handsome than him.
I gotta look this up.
The Rookie's a good movie, though, right?
No, Tom Berenger's a lead.
Movie,
Tom Berenger
Kevin.
wasn't in. Was Tom Berenger in Major League 2? I've only seen Major League 2 like twice. This is
Wait,
the problem
hold on.
I have.
Rookie of the Year is what you're thinking, right?
No, the Rookie.
No. I'm talking.
He's thinking Rookie of the Year. Yeah,
I'm talking about The Rookie. Oh,
The
you know
Rookie.
what?
Yeah, Rookie of the Year.
Randy Quaid is who I'm talking about.
Randy
Quaid.
Quaid.
Dennis
Quaid
Quaid is
got
in The
kicked out
Rookie.
of Canada. I don't think he's allowed back in Canada, right?
Yeah,
that right?
something like he's like Randy Quaid went off the deep end in terms of like QAnon, like
he went a little
conspiracy
nuts.
type shit. He is like he's off the deep end. Randy Quaid is Dennis Quaid's brother. Dennis Quaid is in The Rookie, which is a very good movie, Kevin, if you haven't watched it.
Oh, yeah, that's the one where he's like, it's kind
Not
of like
Rookie of the Year.
No, not Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year, fantastic kids
Great
movie. We love
movie.
it. The Rookie is about a guy who was 35 years old,
Cop,
who was
right?
way past his prime, who shouldn't have even been,
It's Cop.
considered to be in the major leagues, and he kind of just tests his arm out, and he's like, wow, I throw really fucking fast still, and then he ends up becoming a rookie at the age of 35. So he
Kevin,
becomes like a
not a
really
cop.
old rookie.
No.
It's the age-old story. You'll remember this, of course, from Necessary Roughness, Kevin, our favorite movie that we watch all the time together.
Necessary roughness.
Good movie. That's a good movie too.
That sounds like a weird.
Kevin, you'll remember
porno.
this from that movie with Mark Wahlberg, whose title eludes me right now, where he walks on and becomes a member of the Green Bay Packers, whatever.
Oh
team
yeah,
that was.
yeah.
The
what
garbage
movie?
picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon. That's the one with Tony Danza. where
Tony
he-
Danza's in that?
Tony Danza's in a different movie with
Who's
the
Tony
Eagles. Where he,
Danza?
Who's Tony Danza?
Yeah.
Tony
Wh-
Danza got famous for being in that show, Who's the Boss?
Who am I thinking about?
You're thinking of Janine Garofalo.
the last 4 minutes have just been tangent to tangent to tangent to
I'm
tangent.
so lost.
The reason
I'm so
I brought
lost.
up Randy Quaid though is because I'm always reminded of in the movie Major League 2, Nick, which is like really fucking funny, and I think you don't give it a chance because it is a sequel to one of your favorite movies. It's really fucking funny, and Randy Quaid is a guy in the crowd who is the sort of beleaguered Indians fan in the crowd, Tim, and I always repeat the line where he's so tired of the Indians bullshit and constantly losing. And there's a moment where all his friends in the stands have hope for the season, and he's sitting there and he's like, "They'll blow it in the playoffs. They'll blow it in the playoffs." And it's like I always feel that way about my sports teams because they will blow it in the playoffs, and that's usually how I am. And I think that's the last time that I was like, Randy Quaid, you got a future ahead of you, man. No, you know what? It was Vegas Vacation.
I was going to say, I just watched a little little indie film you guys may or may not have heard of called Independence Day. It was on the other day.
Oh, right.
And Randy Quaid has that wonderful moment where he's like, I picked a hell of a day to quit drinking. And I think about that a lot when Tim and I podcast together. I
Yeah.
think,
Really?
should I be drunk right now? No, I think it was one of those things, Andy, growing up, I was like, they recast Wesley Snipes. I'm not interested. Because to me, the standout performance from Major League was Wesley Snipes. That was when I really remember thinking, this dude has really good chops for comedy and really good chops for like, I don't want to say action, but like, he moves well. And then of course he would go on to be a huge star after that with
Omar
wonderful
Epps
casting.
was fantastic, though, as Willie Mays Hayes.
Listen,
like
no disrespect to Omar Epps, but get the fuck out of here.
He was so
Get
good.
the fuck out of here, Omar
he
Epps.
was still
You are
he was
not
still
Wesley
great.
Snipes.
I think that's like the best time there's been a recasting of a popular character that worked just as good, in my opinion. I thought Omar Epps was the perfect, flashy, cocky guy in the outfield, wearing jewelry all the time. It reminded me of like watching Deion Sanders come play for the Braves. Deion Sanders was a Cowboys player. He played in the NFL and was like, I'm going to go play baseball. And then he played for the Braves and he'd have like 6 gold chains around his neck. He's so cool.
That's
Deion
so cool.
Sanders. Neon Deion, primetime.
Neon Dion. Oh, that's sick as fuck.
Yeah, Deion Sanders, dude, is the best.
Now, Tim, did you have something you wanted to talk about today? You have an image of
I
some sort
did.
that you wanted to show
I
us.
did. There's a very quick video I want to show you guys. Before you bring it up, I just want to say some of you might have seen this already. Do not spoil it because I can almost guarantee Nick at least has not seen it. And I need to get his genuine reaction to this. There is a new shitty reality game show out called The Love Trap. The Love Trap follows 12 female contestants who are all trying to impress one man. So the competition will be tough. If that wasn't dramatic enough, there's a twist. Only half of the women on the series are genuine. It's up to the male contestant to work out who actually wants to date him and who's just in it for the cash prize. Meanwhile, the women will try their best to convince him that they are indeed genuine and try to avoid being dumped. This is episode 1's elimination scene.
Oh, man.
Kevin.
This is why I'm glad I don't have to date anymore.
Please hit play and make sure you guys are watching. Oh, we can't hear it, Kev.
This guy stole your look, Tim. I don't like it.
Wait, hold on.
I don't
Kevin's
like
working.
it.
Audio listeners, we're watching a guy that looks exactly like Tim.
Damn.
You're doing the thing our subreddit does. Here's a guy that looks like Nick and he's got a beard.
I know. But you know what, guys? Who am I to say I'm better than our subreddit?
That's a very good point.
Come on. Let's be
Although I will
honest. Let's
say,
be
more
perfectly
often than
honest.
not, they
let's
do
see,
kind of
let's
look
see.
like
Hold on.
Nick.
This should
Oh,
work.
people, dude, I look like a lot of different people.
Although it's getting to the point with me where it's like whenever it's an ethnic dude with a mustache and a beard that's disconnected, I'm like, all right, guys, like
so fucked up.
I'm not like it. Kind of that does not look like me.
Yeah.
Like,
Although your Halloween costume was amazing. We'll talk about that in a second.
thank you.
All right, let's see this.
Wait, no,
How
I'm
we doing?
sorry. Hold on. I'm still having issues.
Fine, we'll talk about it right now. You blew me away with your Halloween costume, but not for the reasons you think,
Oh,
Andy. Not for the reason you think.
I'm sure it's gonna be very
It's-
negative then. Let's hear.
It's such an obvious costume that I think to myself, I'm disappointed that Andy didn't do it years before. I'm disappointed.
Oh, like just being Rahul.
Yeah, it's genius.
Oh no.
Well,
Hey,
here's the
can
thing.
you guys
I
hear
was
me?
gonna.
Hold on.
Yes, we
Yeah,
can
I
hear you,
can hear
Kevin.
you.
Sorry. I thought.
Kevin, did the
OBS.
world go dark?
You know what? OBS might have crashed. Give me 1 second.
Okay, my computer
No, it's
went,
still
just
going.
totally shit the bed on me, and I see like basically a black screen with just your faces on it. So
That's
if I go, tell my wife, what's up? Like say what's up.
All right.
Hey, Nick's last
Hey, D,
words. Nick's last
says,
words.
What's up?
She'd be like, I don't
Fuck,
care.
I don't know why we
What did
can't
he
hear
say?
it.
He said, "What's up?"
He said, what's up? Tell her I want more DC.
No, but Andy, your
so,
costume
like, are
was
we still
incredible.
streaming, Kevin?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. We're still streaming. Audio is not coming through. I think, unfortunately, I'd have to restart OBS.
Are we still recording?
We're still recording. There was a little
Fantastic.
brief moment of a hiccup, but
Okay, that's all good.
yeah. So it looks like I can't pull up any videos with audio.
It's all good.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
I
that
mean, we
sucks.
can-
Well, let's scrap this then.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
gonna say
sorry,
we can
man.
Watch this next week.
The alternatively, Andy, you could share it from, or Tim, you could share it through capture, and then we could bring it in that way.
Tim, is it that important? Is it that important that you can share it through capture? Because now I want to know what's going on in this.
I mean,
I
it's
also wanna
fucking.
know.
It is incredible.
why don't we do that? We should do that. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
can try
open
to
it up
bring
and
it
then
up.
capture the window.
Can
Well,
you
don't
send it
have
to
the links.
assets, Tim?
I think it is an assets.
I'm gonna send it to Andy. I don't want you guys to watch it unless we're watching it together.
Okay.
He won't watch it unless we're
special
watching it together. I'm sorry. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with our audio setup right now, where it's not outputting.
It's okay, mijo.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. Yeah. I'm
It's
looking
gonna take up
through
one of the
it.
slots, so it won't be like. There it is. Oh, you're showing us through your thing.
here
Can
we
you
go.
make it
That's fine.
smaller?
Yeah. No. Yeah. For
It's just
sure.
because we're only getting like half of it.
I love it.
You can
There we
also
go.
full screen mine if you want.
There we
That'll
go.
screw up
I
everything.
need this.
That'll screw
Audio
up
listeners,
everything.
you're missing out. This is how the sausage is made. We're grinding
Yeah.
it up and we're putting it right into your face.
Make it a little
Right into
small. A little
sack.
small. Give me a little tighter.
Right
A
into
little tighter.
a little sack
a
of
little tighter.
entrails. You ever think
We
about
need
that? Jared?
we need to see the full shot.
You guys
Yeah.
see the full shot. Put it over your face.
This
Andy.
actually works better because the resolution is crap on.
Yeah, put it over your face, Andy.
Keep going. Keep going. You're doing great. You're doing great.
over
There it
your
is.
face.
There it is.
There you go.
You got
Perfect.
All
got
right.
it.
Now
It's-
I gotta switch my audio over. Hey, podcast listeners, how you feeling today?
Woo!
What about? I am sorry about technical issues. These things happen. I apologize.
Yeah, again, I'm looking at literally like I have no taskbar or toolbar on the bottom of my screen, and I was trying to slack something to Tim as a joke, and I don't know where that is anymore.
Nick,
So,
are you on Windows or Mac?
I'm on the Windows machine.
Why don't you? Can you see the desktop at all?
I can see the
Right
desktop
click
right
and
now.
hit refresh.
Oh, okay.
Do you all hear
See
me?
that- does that do it?
We can hear
you. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear
Yeah,
you
that
now.
didn't do anything.
No.
No, I just gotta restart my computer.
You went too far, Andy. You went too
All
far.
my monitors went black for a second, and then I came back and everything was frozen. But everything's back here. Okay,
Perfect. All right, this works for me, and I
I
think it's
love
gonna
this.
work for the best friends.
Okay.
I'm into it. I can
And
see.
you
I can
see it,
Andy's
Nick.
hair.
Good,
Yeah, I can see
good.
both. Now, can we hear it? That's the question.
Yes, you will be
Okay.
able to hear it.
I
Here
mean,
we
that's
go.
remember I can pull up an image. I just can't.
David,
We can't. Oh, there it is.
Perfect.
who do you think is a love trap? Sure.
What? Oh my god! I was gonna say that they're standing on circles. I was gonna say they're standing on circles.
Did they not know that was going to
Look at
happen?
his face.
Did Cherie not know that was going to happen?
She had no idea. She had no idea.
I love that. That's the gimmick.
I would
Face,
not.
dude.
I love that
That-
they rewinded because that's the one thing they got going for him.
This is
All right, hold on.
going to be
Now,
huge.
there's one more thing that I need to say to like end cap this little bit here. The creator of the show, who's also the host, was interviewed. Presenter Joel said he was super proud to be a part of the show, saying, "I love lying, love, and trapdoors. So it's all I've ever wanted."
That's
Creepy.
the weirdest. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm black and white for a second.
Pretty
That is the
creepy.
weirdest and funniest thing ever. And
For audio listeners, the woman that he said is the faker fell through a hole.
yeah,
Like-
there's literally a Dr. Evil trapdoor in the middle of the stage that this
That
poor
is
woman
so-
fell through. Now, I'm going to say this as a person who's produced a lot of bad internet content in my life. This was a huge missed opportunity to not have a camera underneath that stage to see
They
where
do.
she
the
landed.
fallout.
Oh, they
there's-
could
this
see?
is just a clip. Yeah, there's more. And like they cut it in a really funny way where her like confessional like ITM thing at the end where she's talking to the camera,
Yeah.
they edited it where she like lands on a couch and starts talking.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
I need someone
Exactly what I
to
was hoping they would do.
edit
God.
it into looking like the moment in the Prestige when when Hugh Jackman
drops
is falling
into
into
the
the trapdoor.
I'm
Dude,
sure
so
that's
good.
I'm sure that's moments away.
But like the possibilities in this are endless, Tim, because now everyone's going to be expecting, oh shit, I'm going to drop through the floor. But what if on the next episode, when he says, I think it's Amanda, she gets slimed, like Nickelodeon slime. Like she's
Well,
thinking, oh god, I'm going to run through, and
she
then the
was-
slime just dumps onto her head.
She was the trap, whatever it is, right?
I mean, we don't know.
We don't know.
No.
That's the thing. She could not.
Oh, it
she
doesn't
might, he
tell
might
you
have just
afterwards?
excluded.
I mean, I didn't watch the episode. I just watched this and then the other clip going around.
God.
But
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
great. That was great. That
it
was
is. It's fucking
spectacular.
amazing, and this with good reason is going super viral. I'm very happy that none of you have seen it because it brought me. It continues to bring me so much joy
That is-
because it's so unexpected, and the reaction shots of the women around that are like, "What the fuck?" and the contestant himself, where he's just like,
Did I just kill someone?
"What the fuck just happened?"
Did someone just die because of me?
Is that is that enough to rope you
so
in to
funny.
be like the next thing that you watch?
No, definitely not. I
Thank
don't like
God.
these like intense gimmick things. They end up not working out long term. It's fun for like clips and shit, but
What was
like
the
let's
last one
not-
you were into? Weren't you into the circle for a hot second? Is that thing still
I think
going
he's still
along?
very into the circle. Right?
Which one's the
No?
one where they
Well-
like lie about each other and they text each other?
It's the circle.
That's
And
the
season
circle.
1 was really good. Season 2 was like pretty cool. The gimmicks were good. Season 3 I haven't really enjoyed so far. I will finish it one day, but so far it's not grabbing my attention. But I know
God.
Jackie ends up coming, so I'm excited to see that at some point.
Wait, what does that mean?
Jackie Jing.
Oh, Jackie
is-
Jing. That's
is in
right.
the
She's on
circle.
one of the episodes. That's cool. That's fun as fuck. I'm gonna look up a quick Patreon question for you.
Before you
guys.
do that, there's one more thing that I do want to show.
fine.
It's no, actually no. It's gonna be too much of that. Don't trip about it.
I mean,
We'll
Andy's
do
already
it
got
on
it
another
set up.
podcast.
You gonna throw 'em-
I
It's just-
actually de-set it up.
It's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good. It's all good.
We'll just
I'm
do it
blaming
later.
myself.
We'll just do it later. It's my fault, Nick. It's my fault. And you know.
It's
it.
Kevin,
not your fault.
Kevin,
It's
are you
everyone's
noticing
fault.
any battery issues with your brand new phone?
No, but I mean, look at me. Hold on, 1 second.
I've been hearing that there are battery issues, and I'm worried.
I'm at 87%, and it's 417. So I mean, that's pretty good. You know,
Okay.
regular
That's-
use. You gotta imagine.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, I didn't know I was gonna get asked about how much my battery life.
No,
was gonna be,
sure.
you know?
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that.
No. It's totally fine. So what I'm saying is like, throughout the day today has been a regular day.
I did a.
Okay.
Day to day.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen.
wanted to point out really quickly that before the show started, Nick said, "Andy, how many more slits in your eyebrow will you shave in before we ask you to stop?"
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure what the angle was there. Like, what were you going for there?
He's trying to be mean.
Got
I
it.
just think honestly, like I think it looks cool. My question is, how many of them do you think you would do in your eyebrow before one of us started to make fun of you?
I mean, it
And
sounds
make
like
it stop.
one.
I think if I just added one
Sounds
more,
like one.
I think, yeah, I think,
Right? I mean, that's what this is.
I think if I added one more, like to this little chunk,
Yeah.
Or if I did a mirroring one, then it'd be like, "What are you doing, dude? Like, stop this sort of thing."
But
Um,
it's just so
I'm waiting
funny.
for it to grow back.
It's just so funny that Nick decides to make fun of Andy about this when it's
I
like
was
we all know that he made it. You were Nick. You
There was
were.
no, there was
Don't
no
lie.
fun being made. I was asking at what
100%.
point would it be socially acceptable for me to make fun of him, and I don't think
Which
now
is
that point.
is a form of making fun.
And
Is
I
a
don't think
form
that
of
was that
making
point.
fun.
I think he looks. I actually think he looks really cool with
He
that.
does
You
look
go
cool,
one
but
more,
like
Andy.
you know, it's a costume. You know, it's a costume. It was part of his costume.
I know it's a costume.
It's like
saw
when
the
I shaved
costume,
my
liked it.
face. You know,
If you go
Like, I
online,
know I'm
right,
gonna get shit
when you
on.
shaved your face, that was not part of a costume. That was part of an assault
the first
on everyone's
time, the first
senses around you.
That was a
the first
part of
time.
2 years worth of content.
God, that was a moment in time that
it's
it's
been
like
a lot
I
more
think to
than 2
myself,
years, Andy.
would I want to relive that moment or the entire year of COVID? And I think COVID looking pretty good, pretty good
wow.
right now.
What I wanted to say was, you kind of gave me shit for saying too little, too late, Andy. You went too late for the Rahul Kohli costume. I was gonna be just Rahul Kohli. I was gonna do that. But I figured like Midnight Mass, that make it look like a thing, you know.
You nailed it.
It's also a show I've never watched before, so that adds kind
Yeah.
of a thing where Rahul was like, "You've never seen it." I'm like, "Ah, come on, yeah, I have. I love that show."
I say you do him again next year. A different show.
iZombie.
I
I might.
Back.
I might, Kevin. I honestly might.
That'd be
Because I was
clever.
gonna be Nick. I wasn't gonna connect the beard, and I was gonna kind of just leave the mustache singular, and I was gonna be Raul Coelho or something like that to kind
Yeah.
of be like Rahul
that's my
Kohli,
last
but
name.
just
Smart.
be the Mexican version of it. It just
Perfect.
sucks that your name is the closest to it, Kevin, because like there aren't a whole lot of
It doesn't have to
Latin
suck.
sounding last
It doesn't have to
names
suck though.
that are close to Kohli. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna try to go for something like that, but then I figured, now let's get the beard. I'll add the white out to the white
It was
to
perfect.
add
It
his
was spot on.
gray. You know,
It was spot on.
some people in the comments, Nick, were very kind of made me sad a bit because a couple people were like, one person said, "Did Andy get work done?" And I'm not
on
really
your
sure what
face?
they meant. But yeah, I think they thought that
I
I
think they
got
meant
like
on your beard. I think they meant because we've talked about. I mean, can I say this online? I'm going to betray a little bit of our confidence right now. You and I have talked about getting you hair plugs for your beard, just to fill in those little gaps right
we have
here.
not.
You're being mean. You're being mean.
we have not talked about that. I was honestly wondering, like, where's he going with
Where's
this?
he gonna
'Cause
go with this? What's he
I
gonna
don't
say?
really know what
Nick and I
have
haven't
to-
hung out in a while. What the hell is he talking about? No, I'm teasing. No, it was a good
I
costume.
think they thought maybe because I was constantly doing the raised eyebrow Raul Kohli thing, and I think they thought maybe I got some sort of like lifts or Botox or something like that. And then a couple people said, "Man, Andy should really leave the beard connected, as
Yeah,
if
as if
I
you
do this on purpose." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Made me
when
sad.
people tell me that I have a lot of gray hair. I'm like, I'm not growing it out purposefully. It's not
Yeah.
like it's a thing. Like, oh, more gray hair. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Nick,
he-
imagine if someone was like, Nick, at what point, like, how much gray hair, like, is
Can
too
we start
much, and
making
we can
fun
start
of
making fun of you?
Yeah, I mean, again, you fucking jackals make fun of me all the time for my gray hair. So it's,
I don't think
it's just what
we've
it is.
ever brought up your gray hair.
No.
Well, forget about it then. I don't want to Streisand affect it. Don't worry about it.
I think maybe maybe you have. Andy, quick question before we move on to
Maybe
this
it's just my
topic.
mom. Every time I see my mom, she's like, "Wow, you're really gray." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Come
that's a
on.
mom thing.
Jesus Christ.
Andy, real
What's up,
quick,
Kev?
is it
I'm
growing
I'm
back?
looking at you down there.
It's gonna grow back.
Is it no? I mean, like right now, is it like, is the hair growing in? You got little spikes coming out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because growing up, it was always like, hey, like, if you mess up your eyebrows too much, they go away forever, and then you always have that cousin that like takes them off completely, and was like,
Do we always have that cousin?
Do you not have
Yeah. I
a
know.
Latin cousin that does that?
No, none of us have that cousin.
Really? Well, I'm just
No.
talking to Andy. I feel like it's a very
No.
Latin thing where they take off the eyebrows and they draw it in, and they're like, it's gonna grow where I drew it, and it's like, I don't know, that's how it works.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
okay.
see what you're saying.
Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
mean like? Well,
more
I, mean,
literally-
I think there's a lot of women that
That's more of a
will
yeah.
tattoo their eyebrows in. I think that's a natural thing.
well, I mean, I feel like that's the more adult step. Like
Yeah,
when they're
the high school
16-year-olds.
version,
Yeah.
Sharpie.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I guess
they're
that does
using
kinda make
makeup to
sense.
draw it in, right?
Not the ones I knew.
Oh,
That's
really?
right.
No, I mean, in my high school, that was a thing too, especially in the '90s too, because it was the smaller eyebrow, like the thinner eyebrow, was
Very
the
in.
look.
Very
and so a
in,
lot of
very
people
in.
would just like go bank and then just draw it in. Hey,
I,
to each
I
their
just
own.
I just didn't know what you were talking about, Kevin. So it was funny to
I thought
hear
he was
like,
talking about. I was
is
like,
the
wait,
eyebrow
what?
coming back in, Andy? Because we all have that cousin that just shaves it off. I was like, do we?
See, this
have
is
that
again.
cousin?
You want to see how stupid I am? I think to myself, did I have a cousin that shaved one eyebrow?
Yeah.
Well,
What?
no, I mean they
I
shave
thought it was
both,
like one
right?
eyebrow gone.
I mean, I'm not
No, no, no.
crazy, right?
I had a
cousin
picture
that
in
The way
my
you
shaved
brain.
eyebrows.
presented the information is,
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
weird.
Andy, do you have
it
a cousin
totally
that
makes
shaved
sense
off her
now.
eyebrows to draw them in, and then
Um,
hopefully it grew back the right way?
I don't think so. No, I think it was
Friend
just
of a
like
cousin.
cousins that would pluck them to where they were super fucking thin,
Super
and
thin.
then would do the Tim thing that he just mentioned of like the Sharpie to
Like
kind of
Sharpie
like
it in, yeah,
very
defensively.
dark thin line.
Well, now people are doing the microblading thing where they're
Yeah,
going in
yeah,
there
it's
like mini
cool.
tattoos to
Get in
make
there.
to like.
G
That's
has
crazy.
that.
Make it look full.
Does
G,
she?
G does the microblading. Yeah.
Wait,
I
what
wanna
is
try
this?
To get, Andy, I'm trying to get microblade like right here and right here. I just want to like draw these in a little bit.
So you like tattoo like
Lines.
basically lines, so it makes it look fuller.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever looked at it and been like, oh yeah, you look fuller.
Why is that called
It works.
microblading?
Oh, it-
that
well,
Because
I
it's,
don't
it's like a
know.
little blade. It's a little blade. They go in there and they cut and they burn you.
oh, I mean, it's just the word microblading does not
Weird.
kind of
think
doesn't have
it's
the
hair
connotation
removal.
of tattooing in and
Yeah.
filling in. Microblading to me, I'm thinking of like it's kind of doing some cutting thing. You know?
Yeah, I always thought it was like because there's a process of tweezing eyebrows and I like that revolves around like strings. You ever
Oh
seen
yeah,
that?
I've seen that.
Where they,
Nick.
like,
I've
string
seen that,
out.
Nick.
I
yeah.
thought that's what microblading was for the longest time because I was like, oh,
No,
let's
that's
just put a cool
just-
name on it. But that's just some sort of hyper fucking cool technique that people
It's
use
tweezing,
to tweeze
yeah.
shit, which is weird to me.
I wouldn't mind microblading my eyebrows, getting them thicker and fuller.
You have
You
really
want 'em
thick
thicker?
eyebrows.
I mean I do
Let's
I
go
do think I
further.
have thick eyebrows. I wish they were fuller though. Like when I watch Dune and I watch Timothy Chalamet's eyebrows, I'm like, he's got good eyebrows. I wish I had.
Bro. Listen,
Oscar
I gave
Isaac's
up.
got a good eyebrows.
I gave up comparing myself
on this.
to one Timothy Chalamet a long time ago. Joey Noel joining the chat right now. Joey, what
Hey,
say
Joe.
you about microblading?
I really want it and it looks really dope. Gia has it and her eyebrows look great. It's called microblading because they make like all these tiny like hair-like cuts and then they put the ink into it so it's not like with a traditional tattoo machine.
How long does it last?
It's semi-permanent, so you have to get it done like every
Okay, so
couple
if you
years.
don't like it, a few years. and
Oh,
it
a
goes
couple
away.
years. That's not bad.
Yeah.
What
so
if we call them really small swords?
Ooh,
Or really small sword?
micro katanas,
Yeah, small katana.
small katanas.
I'll let you take that up with the
Tiny katana.
microblading community. But threading is what you were talking about. with the
Threading, thank you.
strings.
Mm.
Threading. That's what
And I
it's
used
called.
to I used to get my eyebrows threaded when I lived in Orange County, and it's great.
And
Doesn't
what's
hurt
the,
as much.
What's the benefit of threading to just plucking?
You can get more hairs at a time because they twist the threads, so when you
Right.
like open and close them, they like grab
Group
more hair
'em.
at a time.
Yeah.
It's quicker for sure, and I think it like grabs at like the root, so like there's a higher potential I think for it not to
Just break.
grow back. Yeah, to get it
Interesting.
at the root. It's
It's-
great.
It's
there
crazy
you go.
that like guys are just like, all right, the facial hair that I have is what I
This
have.
is how we look.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know
I-
people
let's-
do like tweeze and stuff, but like
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Kevin. But I totally agree. I would
I don't feel
like.
pressured to tweeze, I guess.
I would like to break the stigma of like, what if I just want to wear eyeliner one day? And like,
I don't
Yeah,
think
people are
but
gonna
anything
think that's
wrong with
weird.
it.
I don't think
point.
it should be. I don't
You
think
used
Connect
it
to
your
be-
beard, Andy. If you want to connect your beard, you look dope as fuck.
I don't
Should I
think you
connect
should
it right
I
now?
think you-
Should I go get
Yeah.
eyeliner?
Connect
right
it,
now?
I
dude.
think you should connect
Yeah.
it right now. Andy finally connects his beard in the last 2 minutes of this podcast. What we're going to call the title of this podcast.
Well, and the great part about microblading was that it just like you don't have to do your eyebrows every day. They just like look like better versions.
See,
of
what's
themselves.
funny about that, Joey, is
So that I could see where
none
Andy
of
could
us
get his
knew
beard
you had to do
microblading.
your eyebrows every day. That's not a thing we ever do. I've never once done my eyebrows.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
It
Isn't it
is
weird that
weird.
you do stuff
Fucked up.
all the time that me and Tim and Andy no eyes on? No
Like-
eyes on that whatsoever.
I would say I should get it done every 6 weeks, but I realistically get it done every other month. I go to my cousin who's an esthetician and she waxes my eyebrows. She tints them. So she puts like
Oh.
semi-permanent dye on them. And then sometimes things will get crazy and she'll laminate them, which is like essentially
What?
putting perm solution on your eyebrows
The
to get
So
them
that
to
rain doesn't
lay
hurt.
to get them to lay in
Dry
like
wick
the way that
eyebrows.
you want them to lay, so they're not all like poking out in different directions and stuff
Man,
like that. And
this
it's
is a whole
like
new world.
expensive.
That's
Like I
wild.
pay like close to like $100 if I get all 3 of those things done every other month.
Is that a family discount
That's-
though, or what's up?
I mean, she does, but I just give it back to her in tips, so it's like
Sure.
Always
kinda
the problem
wash.
with that, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mhm.
Andy,
How did
here
we
go.
get on this
Audio
topic?
listeners,
Oh,
Andy
Nick was
is-
making fun of Andy.
I was not making fun of Andy. It was a
Minus
conversational starter
two,
to just
make
open up the bag of nuts.
one
See, here's
Reach
the
in there
thing.
and see what we get.
Andy.
Look
I
at
love
this beautiful
Andy. I
man.
think Andy's a beautiful man. I think he looks cool with the one thing. If that, let's put it this way: if that doesn't grow back in, I'm gonna pretend like Andy had it first. Screw you, Rahul Kohli.
God. Just so
Screw
you
you.
know, if you commit to this, which you totally could, and no one would say anything, except for Nick.
I would, guys. I'm an idiot. I would forget that Andy's beard didn't connect. I'd be
And
like,
then
wait a
you would
minute, I'm-
remember and make the biggest deal about it because you just remembered.
First off, Kevin, it's either
Uh-huh.
me or you. You know, the people that burn the thing down is either me or you.
No,
On every
if
part of this
Andy
podcast.
started
Don't
wearing
act like it's
glasses,
not you.
if Andy started wearing glasses right now, I would forget that he's never worn glasses or whatever.
Andy
That was
does
me.
wear
I
glasses
forgot
every
that.
once
What
in a
was that?
while.
That
Yeah,
actually
they're
happened.
gunners,
in
though.
it.
I
They're
said
not
that
real.
happened to me.
Wait, but they're not real glasses, not prescription glasses, right? They're gunners.
No,
They're
but
like-
Kevin, we're talking
Why
about the
does
time.
that detail matter?
Well, I meant
Whether
like
or
if he
not they're
needed glasses,
prescription.
because
Now,
I'm saying if he
I'm gonna
needed
say
glasses,
this, though. I'm gonna
if
say
he
this,
needed
though.
glasses.
Kevin, I was with you for a second, but Andy's
What?
being a little bit.
Okay,
like,
here we go. Here we go. Thank you for proving my point within a minute and a half of
just-
saying
I'm
that you
just-
would forget. That you-
I'm just
Thank
saying,
you. I just like to be
Joey-
right, and you nailed it.
Joey, you're watching this. I was
Uh-huh.
with Andy until he started getting a little greedy. He started getting a little greedy, coloring in this beard. I thought he was just gonna connect right here. I was all for that.
I
But he
like
started
the
doing
idea
more
until it
beard
was
on the
slightly
chin, more beard
more.
up here. And I
Well, if
wonder
you're
how
gonna
far
go
he
for it,
could
you might as well
before
go
Tim
for
starts
it.
making fun of him.
I'm not making fun of him at all. I think it's fucking awesome. And like, fucking go for it, dude. Why
And I
not?
need you to microblade that. God, you look exactly like Rahul now. That's weird.
You look awesome.
Yeah, you
Fill
look
in
really
your
good.
beard,
Awesome.
wear
normally.
the
You don't
nail
need to-
polish,
did you
wear the
mirror-
crop top, do everything.
Did you mirror the camera?
I did, so I could look at myself
You're
doing it in
fucking
OBS.
good for you. That's awesome.
Because as soon as I started off, Kevin, I went the
Yeah.
wrong way. I was like, nope, I
This
gotta,
ain't
I
gonna
gotta
work,
reflect myself.
But
No, but
also-
Kevin, you were forgetting the time that Nick was like, Andy, when did you start wearing these glasses? And we were about I don't know, a year, maybe
No.
7,
Andy.
8 months into the pandemic, and I was like,
It's like
well,
3
here's
years.
this episode of KFAF we recorded in studio, where
Yeah.
I was wearing these glasses.
Guys,
do
listen,
remember
I'm
that
not
as
even
a
sure
response.
if I'm supposed to wear glasses or not. This is where I'm at right now as a human being. But ladies and gentlemen, where you're at as human beings, this is awesome. You made it to the end of our podcast right now. But it's not the end, Tim. I know what you're thinking. If you're a Patreon member, you get to be a part of our Patreon only exclusive club where we go and dance the night away for a little extra post-show time. Go over to patreon.com/kindafunny if you want to be a part of that. If not, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Leave a little comment below about anything we talked about. Hey, did your team win? Is your team the Atlanta Braves? Are you one of those Astros fans? Boo.
Boo.
No. Boo. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I love you.